Thank all of you for being here, and thank my staff, Diala, Jadala, my legislative director, Vic Edgerton, my chief of staff, and Nathan White, who deals with communications, for their help in making sure we got the word of this out and helping our presenters be here with us. I would especially like to thank Colonel Jeffery Leggit, who is the director of Congressionally directed medical research programs with the Department of Defense. Thank you very much for being here, Colonel. Dr. Roberta White, Chair of Environmental Health, at Boston University School of Public Health, who chairs the advisory panel who determines what research is requested and funded. Mr. Anthony Hardie, a Gulf War veteran who serves on Dr. White's committee. Dr. Beatrice Golomb, is that the right pronunciation?
Close enough.
How do you pronounce it?
Golomb.
Golomb. Dr. Beatrice Golomb of the University of California, San Diego, who recently completed the first successful pilot study for a treatment for one of the most serious symptoms of Gulf War illness, and Steele of Baylor University, former scientific director of the Research Advisory Committee on Gulf War Veterans Illnesses. And we're also joined by
Jim Dennis,
Jim,
Chairman of the Research Advisory.
Jim is Chairman of the Research and Advisory Committee. We appreciate your presence here in helping all of us to bring this to the point of greater resolution. Throughout the course of the last few decades, I've had so many people come up to me who served during the Gulf War and would explain to me that they had these symptoms and they were really being ignored. It was really heartbreaking, because when you think about it, someone who has served this country and who served in the first Gulf War, finding themselves with illnesses, sometimes multiple illnesses, many different symptoms, and many of them, when they came for treatment, they were essentially being told, look, it's in your head. Could there be anything more devastating to a man or woman who serves our country at the completion of their service to be told, look, you don't really have a problem. But through the work of many, and I had the opportunity to be a leader in the Congress on this, we were able to finally address in a very direct way the estimated 250,000 veterans of the first Gulf War who suffered from persistent symptoms such as chronic headaches, widespread pain, cognitive difficulties, unexplained fatigue, gastrointestinal problems, respiratory symptoms, and other abnormalities that are not explained by traditional medical or psychiatric diagnosis. Research has shown that as these brave veterans age, they are at double risk for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. They're at double risk as their non-deployed peers. There may also be connections to multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease. And sadly, there are no known treatments for the lifelong, frequently debilitating pain which these veterans endure. This is why I've fought for years to make sure that the men and women who served in that first Gulf War do not fall from the forefront of the federal list of priorities, even though their war is no longer in the headlines. We have made a sacred promise to them that we will make sure that we protect their back after they've protected ours. It's a moral imperative that we do not let time passively erase our end of the bargain. Every single year, this research program is at risk from being eliminated completely. And every year, we fight for it. Not just myself, but people in this room. We fight for it. For fiscal year 12, we were able to do so with an appropriations amendment that I'm sure many of the offices here supported. We actually managed to increase funding with a strong bipartisan floor vote in an austere environment, which speaks to the support that's out there. This coming year, we'll face another fight for this money, and I hope that our friends that are joining us today And our 250,000 afflicted friends who couldn't make it here today can count on our, the continued support and help which is needed. So I thank all of you for being here today. And at this point, I'd like to open the discussion to our panel here. And who would like to go first? Colonel?